Welcome to week 2 of Playoffs with Pat. We had an exciting race in Las Vegas, and I want to send kudos to everyone at NASCAR, especially the guys that were doing the broadcast for NBC, pretending to be excited about not being in Kansas. Everyone clearly knows if we could do 10 races in Kansas, do the entire playoff schedule here, you would do it. But as it works out, we have to spread the love. We've got to race at other tracks. So Vegas obviously had a great crowd. People were pretending to be excited. The drivers pretended to be excited. Everyone really did a great job in putting on a great show and acting as though they weren't crushed about not being here. So getting past that, it really was a great race. And the person that obviously a lot of people talked about was Kyle Busch. Now, Kyle had problems early in the race. He battled back the entire time. Now, as Kyle is Kyle, he wasn't happy with his finish. I think he finished around 19th in the race. But if you look at what could have happened to Kyle Busch and what could have happened to his playoff hopes, even with the huge point advantage that he had going in, he did a great job in that race. He fought the entire race. He and his team, the Joe Gibbs team, did a phenomenal job of making him competitive, getting him competitive again. He came from 2 laps down to finish 19th. He was running better than that at some points. And I think, despite his disappointment in not running better than he did, finishing that low, I really think you have to look at that level of success and that determination that he showed, and that's got to be something. It's going to roll forward into Richmond certainly, but I think it's going to carry him through the playoffs. When you can come from 2 laps down to finish 19th, you're doing something right. So let's look at how the playoff field finished at Las Vegas. If you look at the top 12 positions, 10 of those were playoff drivers. So all the way down, the top 10 were all playoff drivers. Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Ryan Newman. The first non-playoff driver, shockingly, the guy who missed the playoffs for the first time in his career, Jimmie Johnson, finished 11th, followed by Austin Dillon. But if you look at what's happening in the playoffs right now, as you would expect, the best drivers, the ones who have already qualified for the playoffs, are the ones doing the best. Now, two playoff drivers that had a really rough race this weekend, there were really 3, but the 2 that I'm focusing on right now, Kurt Busch and Clint Bowyer. Clint obviously started from the pole, looked like he was going to have a great race, had some problems, didn't finish well. Kurt ran well most of the race, had a flat tire, took him out, he didn't finish well. Both guys really had tough days and are now in a deep hole from the point standpoint in trying to get out of that and qualify for the next round. So as we look forward to Richmond, who do we think can get the job done? Well, again, we talked about Kyle Busch. He has the highest average finish of everyone in the playoffs. It's about a 7 average finish in 28 starts. Denny Hamlin is second, just over a 9 for an average finish, followed closely by Kevin Harvick. And so I think those 3 drivers are the ones that you want to look at to really be competitive this weekend. Interestingly, when you look at the top 10 at Vegas, only one of those was a Toyota. As well as the Toyotas have run all year, only one driver in the top 10, Martin Truex, who won the race, was a Toyota driver. So I think the manufacturers and how those play at Richmond is going to be an interesting thing to watch and to see who does well. The Fords have run well all year, both the Penske and the Stewart-Haas team, and I think you should expect to see that at Richmond this weekend. So we're going to have a great short track race at Richmond. It's going to be a phenomenal event. I really encourage people to tune in. It's going to be a great race. And of course, everyone is still really getting excited about coming to Kansas in several weeks. But for right now, let's pretend that Richmond matters. It is important. We've got great people at Richmond. Dennis Bickmeyer does a great job running that track. And so do everything you can to support them. If you're in the area, go to the race. If not, tune in and watch it on NBC.